Also available from Sky River Films. From the tip of the southeast panhandle to the frozen Arctic tundra, from the heartland of Alaska's sweeping interior to its stormy western coast, this is Alaska as you've never seen it before. Discovering Alaska is an award-winning 75-minute video filled with beauty, wildlife, history, and adventure. Discovering Alaska from Sky River Films. Wild Alaska is a magnificent visual portrait of wildlife on the last frontier. Shot in some of the most remote regions of Alaska, this program takes you in close into areas rarely known or visited. Award-winning cinematography, breathtaking in scope and beauty, captures the grand scale of Alaska's wilderness and the animal life within it. Wild Alaska from Sky River Films. Traveling the Inside Passage takes you on an unforgettable journey along Alaska's southeast panhandle. From the majestic forests to the ancient glacial ice fields, this is a place filled with beauty, wildlife, and excitement. Traveling the Inside Passage from Alaska's premier producers, Sky River Films. Finally, a video that captures all the excitement and adventure of engaging Alaska's best fighting game fish. Fishing Alaska is an unforgettable hour-long journey to some of the world's best fishing holes. Battle the enormous king salmon and the mighty halibut. Thrill to the excitement of tournament-winning Dolly Varden and rainbow trout. Share the fun and exhilaration of Alaska's remote fly-in-only rivers. Catch Fishing Alaska from Sky River Films. To order any of these videos or to receive a free brochure of all our programs, call toll-free 1-800-248-WILD or write to Sky River Films, 3710 Woodland Drive, Suite 2100, Anchorage, Alaska, 99517. And now for our feature presentation.
Strangely, we must wait for the night and the darkness, though the story we begin is about light. A mystery unfolding, experiences shared, sometimes in fear, sometimes in wonder and delight. This is an ancient mystery, recorded in holy books and sacred tablets. Shared across the midnight flames of council fires. noted in the logs of long-forgotten galleons. Whispered in the darkness, lest too bold a telling raise some spirit set on mischief or deadly intent. Like an unknown river, whose broken surface tells the seasoned mariner of something hidden below. This mystery ebbs and flows by some unseen authority, some force instinctively respected, a power we mortals will never command. Like a shroud of fog or heavy mist, rolling its concealment across a mountain forest, this mystery veils the endless sky, covering the stars, stealing their brilliance, like candles suddenly dim behind a jeweled gossamer drape. Like a darting flame, piercing without warning the night-black sky, this mystery dances a dervish dance, whirling at a frenzied pace, revealing its secrets faster than the eye can follow.
It was night. A flash of light caught my eye and I looked toward the heavens. As I stared into the normally familiar starry sky, an event of indescribable beauty suddenly exploded above me. It was like fire, yet did not affect the cold around us. The colors were dashing and sweeping. It was unlike any experience I have ever had.
The chronicles of travelers and mystics, scientists and common folk are unanimous on their experience. Time and again, whether they can explain the phenomenon or not, they are stunned, even awestruck, by the mysterious lights in the sky. Many have struggled to explain what they've seen through whatever frame of reference they may have had at hand.
In the 30th year, in the 5th day of the 4th month, as I was among the captives by the river of Shabar, the heavens opened and I saw visions of God.
Might not this line from the Old Testament reference an auroral display that inspired the prophet Ezekiel almost 20 600 years ago.
A whirlwind came out of the north, a great cloud and a fire with a brightness about it. Living creatures appeared, and between these appeared the likeness of burning torches. They went up and down among the creatures. The fire was bright, and out of the fire went forth lightning. And over the heads of the creatures, like a bow in the day of rain, so was the light, gleaming like crystal, stretched forth over their heads.
At northern latitudes of the globe, the Aurora Borealis, the northern lights, are visible as much as a third of the year. In Alaska, when clear dark skies return after the 24-hour daylight of summer's midnight sun, auroral displays of stunning color and brilliance sometimes travel across the entire visible sky. It is such an unusual phenomenon, so unlike any other event we might commonly see, it's no wonder these intense, seemingly mystical lights in the sky would stimulate equally intense emotional reactions in their earthbound viewers. But where do these lights come from? And why do they occur? The science behind the aurora is still being defined, although much has been learned during the past few decades. Imagine an explosion on the face of the sun. As our home star boils and burns, atomic particles, called protons and electrons, stream out from its surface in all directions. Billions of particles per second rush into interplanetary space at fantastic speeds. This endless flow of invisible matter, sometimes streaming out slowly and sometimes like a stormy gale, is part of an energy flow known as the solar wind. One characteristic of our planet is its magnetic field. Although invisible to our eyes, bands of energy extend outward from the north and south poles, creating a magnetic boundary around the Earth, called the magnetosphere. It is the interaction between our planet's magnetosphere and the particles carried by the solar wind that allows the aurora to occur. Imagine our planet as a great rock in a river. The solar wind is like the water, flowing past the magnetosphere, pushing protons and electrons around the boundary of the Earth's magnetic field. But unlike water against solid rock, particles in the solar wind can slip through the boundary of the magnetosphere and tumble toward the Earth. Now, caught by the strong magnetic fields that lead to the poles, the protons and electrons from the sun speed up and crash into the atmosphere along precise magnetic lines. A second process now creates the light we see from below. Imagine a tiny particle of matter carrying an electrical charge and being drawn through the air toward the Earth. The gases that make up our atmosphere are floating in pieces, and when they collide with these falling particles, they pick up an electrical charge that makes them glow. Different gas molecules glow in different colors, just like neon signs and lights most of us are familiar with. To create the aurora, these tiny collisions must happen more than 100 million times per second in every square centimeter of the sky that's affected. These scenes of the aurora were shot from the space shuttle using a highly sensitive black and white low-light camera. Incredibly, since the solar wind continuously carries billions of particles from the sun to the edge of the Earth, the aurora is being made somewhere on our planet all the time. How wonderful the sky becomes. And yet, my grandmother always said, we must not look. But grandfather and another mighty hunter told me the rivers of light in the sky will not harm us if we are respectful of the spirits they contain. We must not whistle at the sky. To be respectful, we travel quietly when the lights appear. Grandfather said there are many lands above the sky where we may travel when we die. Sometimes great shamans travel there now. These are happy places filled with animals and a great lake. When the lake overflows, the water falls through the stars, which are holes in the sky, and it falls to the earth as rain or snow. It is a beautiful land where the spirits of our ancestors play many games. They play at night, racing back and forth across the sky, kicking a walrus skull like a football. They play for the Moon Man, who is a mighty hunter and always shares the animals he kills with others. Once, long ago, grandfather met a man from a village very far away. He told grandfather the light is from the tail of a fox. It is thrown into the sky when the fox strikes his tail on the frozen snow and ice. Grandfather said that might be, but I don't believe he thought so. If the aurora is occurring continuously in the atmosphere overhead, why don't we see it in the sky all the time? The simple answer is also the most obvious, in that the sun overpowers the aurora during daylight hours. But sometimes the sun's activity dramatically changes. The solar wind becomes a raging storm. Massive flares fires and explosions, some pushing out 500,000 miles into space, release huge waves of particles, forcing much more of them than normal into the magnetic streams of the Earth. On these dramatic occasions, auroral activity and intensity jump. A few times in recorded history, the aurora intensified so much that its display extended outward from the poles toward the equator, covering the night sky in a blood-red color over as much as 2/3 of the planet. Demons in the clouds over Europe. Dragons roaming the skies of China. Grand battles between ghosts or desperate struggling spirits of the night in Siberia. Ominous celestial visions of events about to occur in Lapland. Why does the sky look this way? Is the world about to end? Without the benefit of scientific explanations we now understand, some witnesses to these events were certain the aurora signified ill fortune or disasters that were about to occur. In ancient Rome, the aurora was described as a sky-bound army. One display was said to have foretold the death of Julius Caesar, another the fate of the empire in a distant war.
There is no warning of woe more calamitous to the human race. A flame in the sky which seems to descend to the earth on showers of blood. This happened in the 3rd year of the 107th Olympiad, when Philip was endeavoring to subjugate Greece.
The lights were not always met by ancient peoples with such fearful or uneasy reactions. In northern latitudes, where the aurora is so common, a different vision, one of beauty and power, endures instead. Freya, the most beautiful of all Norse goddesses, is joined with the aurora in their mythology. But along with her status as the goddess of beauty and love, Freya also leads King Odin's chosen Valkyries down to the battlefields on Earth, endued with the power to select those who would die. As these warlike virgins, mounted on horses with helmets and spears, rode forth from the heavens, their armor flashed in a strange flickering light that cast a flame across the northern skies. study of the aurora over the past few centuries has sometimes led to its being labeled as a contributing force behind many kinds of natural phenomena. As in most new scientific investigations, observers were not always correct. Several scientific explorers in the 1800s felt the aurora was linked to certain weather patterns. But when one said an aurora signaled foul weather ahead, another was certain the northern lights foretold fair and mild conditions were sure to come. Other speculations and theories arose. Relationships between the aurora and the phases of the moon. The planets Saturn, Venus, and Jupiter. Even correlation with shooting stars and meteor sightings were forwarded by early investigators. Today, we know most of these associations have no basis in scientific fact. Over the past few decades, more progress has been made in understanding the aurora than throughout all previous history. At last, the mysteries are unraveling and the contradictions are being settled. Relationships between intense solar activity, the aurora, and the Earth's magnetic energies have been of special importance, since when the aurora is most active, its associated magnetic fields can wreak havoc on large man-made objects that conduct electricity. Satellite and radio communication transmissions, power lines, long telephone lines, and pipelines are all affected. In Alaska, engineers responsible for maintaining the Trans-Alaska oil pipeline often deal with effects caused by the aurora. It impacts their work by electrically accelerating the process of corrosion in the metal pipe from which the line is made. Another significant concern over magnetic storms that accompany intense auroral activity are with public light and power systems. For example, in 1980, a large hydroelectric transformer in Canada failed during a massive auroral display. 4 months later, its replacement was destroyed during another aurora. And in 1989, a huge magnetic storm caused this same public utility system to collapse, creating an outage that affected more than 6 million Canadians. In the ancient traditions of the Eskimo songmakers and storytellers, the Inuit poets of the North, creative inspiration comes from the world around us and from a world within. At special moments, this inspiration takes form through songs. These poets explain there are many occasions in one's life when a joy or a sorrow is felt in such a way that the desire comes to sing. They say songs are thoughts, sung out with the breath, when people are moved by great forces, and ordinary speech no longer suffices. I call forth a song born in the stillness, when all thoughts are of beautiful things. It is a new song, summoned with fresh words, for worn-out songs can never be used to respect so great a power. As in that dark winter night, when a sudden light appeared in silence across the sky, these words were found in the darkness and stillness of the festival house. They took shape in my mind They rose like bubbles from the depths of the sea, like threads of fire collecting in the sky, bubbles seeking the air in order to burst. Threads weaving so fast that a great blanket was instantly made. This is how sacred songs are born, to become the property of the person who knows how to sing to others. Nothing must disturb them. Nothing must divert them. They burst forward when they are ready. I call forth a song. It was driven by this flowing force. Thoughts washed over me like a flood, making my breath come in gasps and my heart throb. When I sing this song, I see the fire. I feel the joy and fear and wonder. There are many secrets yet to be revealed about the forces that create these majestic lights in the northern sky. Like many things, we see these events in the heavens very differently, depending on our worldly point of view. When the physicist and astronomer, the scholar and mathematician look skyward, they see energy and matter, motion and time weaving together, helping make visible an infinitely variable process normally hidden from the human eye. When the poet and storyteller, the mystic and the artist gaze above, they see revelation and meaning, mystery and imagination weaving together, helping make visible infinitely variable expressions, normally hidden in the human mind. But anyone lucky enough to witness the aurora will above all find beauty. And hopefully be thankful that this tiny fragment of the invisible has been revealed. And that the infinite variety of nature's creative hand has touched us once again, stopping us for the moment to enjoy this marvelous and mysterious universe from our simple place within it. This is the aurora, the magnificent rivers of light in the sky.